man. Not another day like last Tuesday.
Cause it's Taco Tuesday.
Tuesday.
The big news.
Hello and welcome to your Tuesday Newsday number 12. I had to go back a little ways to find some happy news. I intentionally went for happy news because, well, given our current news cycle, everything is dreary, everything is politics, everything is COVID, everything is negative. So I wanted to go back a couple of years here to a story that I knew about that was that's just a happy story. It's a good thing. It's something that came as a positive light to the news cycle when it was released. The first time Gainesville, Florida police officer Bobby White visited a group of kids for a noise complaint for a pickup basketball game, he diffused the situation with a few dribbles and a slam dunk. The second time, White challenged the kids to a game, and he made sure to bring backup. A 7'1" future NBA Hall of Fame backup. Retired NBA great Shaquille O'Neal surprised the kids by joining White and some of his fellow officers for a pickup game last week on the same roadside hoop that White stopped by for the January 15th noise complaint. The former LA Lakers star had seen a viral video of White shooting hoops with the kids and got in touch with the Gainesville police about joining in for a rematch. O'Neal has shown long-standing support for law enforcement, having trained to become a reserve officer in the Los Angeles Port Police during his time with the Lakers and a Miami Beach reserve officer during his time with the Heat. "I brought some other backup for y'all," White joked before O'Neal emerged from a police car. The 43-year-old shot some hoops with the kids and also parted with $800, telling each of the kids he would give them $100 if they made a foul shot. At the end of the visit, he huddled the boys together to deliver a message. "Stay out of trouble, listen to your parents, respect your elders, and you can be anything you want to be," he said.
Next, a story that gets even better. Last week, this dash cam video went viral. It shows Officer Bobby White of the Gainesville, Florida Police Department, who was called to the scene of a noise complaint. Now, instead of punishing the kids, the officer decided just to join in on the fun. Well, Officer White has outdone himself. The officer brought along a special guest for a second game.
You're much taller than you look on TV.
And they're saying you said next time you come back here, you can bring some back over here.
Thank you, sir.
I told you I was gonna bring some backup, right?
Yep.
Huh? You guys ready?
Yeah.
You bring your good game?
Yeah.
You see, look at these big boys I brought. You sure you can take them? So you're pretty sure you can take these guys, right? Well, I brought some other backup for y'all. I brought y'all some backup.
What's up, baby? You fuck the ball? Get that out of here. Steph Curry.
Steph Curry. That's 3-point range.
Yeah, that's that playoff defense right there. Oh, double team. Shoot it, baby. Come on.
Get it on
Look
the
up. Roll, big dog. Roll, big. Shaq and Barkley clear out. Barkley on me. One shot each. Step in my office. You make a shot back there, you get $100. You get 2 shots, you make one, you get $100. Got this. You got $100.
Oh yeah.
Talk while he's shooting. One more shot. One more shot. Violation.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Come on. You got it. Damn, everybody come from.
Stop smiling, Dwight Howard. Get serious.
Yeah.
Okay. What's that, 7? All right, hold up. Just came out here because I saw the video. Proud of you guys. Stay out of trouble. Listen to your parents. Respect your elders. You can be anything you want to be. I'm from the same neighborhood y'all from. I grew up just like this, so only you can change this. And you can change it through basketball and showing respect to your peers like you did. And I'm a man of my word. But listen, don't ever take money from another stranger, you understand? I'm gonna honor my word, but don't be taking money from people. So I'll be right back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh yeah.
Did you shoot? Oh, you got a shot. All right, get on over.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh. Let's go ahead. Oh, good job. My bad.
You all right, Dwayne Wade? Keep it up there.
Hey!
Telling you some secrets that could change your life. You know how much money I made as a youngster? 700 million. You know how I made that? Respecting my peers, listen to my mommy and daddy, and focusing in school. That's all you got to do. All right? Good job today. All right? Proud of you guys. Stay out of trouble. Be a leader, not a follower. All right, repeat after me. I will become louder, man. I will repeat after me, big dog. I'll give you some secrets. I will become whatever I want to be. I will be a leader and not a follower. I will respect my peers, my elders, and especially my parents. All right, love you guys. Wonderful, you cool? All right, fellas, y'all stay out of trouble.
All right. Ready to roll, Jack? I'm gonna lead you out to 30 and then you just straight west to the highway.
Thank you so much, Jack. You were so good.
Thank you for doing this. Have a good one. I'll see you guys around. You guys be safe.
So here we are at the learning scale, where our goal is to determine 2 or more central ideas of a text and analyze their development over the course of that text, including how they interact and build on one another. At the end of the worksheet questions, I will ask you to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 4 as far as your ability to accomplish this learning goal. If you're at a 4, that means you can identify the central idea of the text and analyze and identify the evidence that the author uses to prove his or her point, including how those ideas build on one another. A 3 means that you can identify the central ideas and the evidence that the author uses to prove his or her point, but you're not really able to identify how those ideas build on one another. A 2 means that you can identify the central ideas, but you're not really pointing to the evidence. See how it kind of one one piece of the ranking falls off every time we drop down a number. For a 2, you can identify the central ideas, which means you can get to the right answer, but you're not really showing me the process. And the process obviously is one of the most important pieces, if not the most important piece, because I doubt that this is news to you at this point, but school has never been about finding the right answer. It's always been about process, because you have the right answers now, and that's wonderful, but there will be times when you don't. But knowing how to find the right answer is key. That's the most important piece. So if you're at a 1, that means you are unsure of how to find the central idea. All right, so as we take a look at the worksheet here, identifying the topic. So what is the topic of this story? You have the PDF available to you. It was posted at the beginning of the Ed puzzle. So you can always have that open as you answer these questions. Identifying the topic, please do so now. Summarizing the story here, can you do that in exactly 12 words now? 32 words now. What is the first sentence of the story? And what is the last sentence of the story? And what is the main idea of this story? This is not one that shows up in a direct quote or something that the author writes. It's a little bit more inferred. You have to infer what the main idea is in this case, which puts it in a little bit of a different category than articles before, but I think we're ready for it. So what is the main idea of this article? And now what I'd like you to do is choose, we don't have 2 articles. What I'd like you to do is respond with a quote. Find me a quote in the story that you think is important, and then tell me why that quote was included in the story. So the main idea of the article is twofold. I just realized I said article. Given Shaq's statement, I grew up in a neighborhood just like this, you can change this, would suggest that it's not a great neighborhood, and kids out in the street might signify trouble. Officer White, however, decided to handle the noise complaint in a way that built community rather than being punitive. This likely endeared those kids not only to him, but built a relationship with the whole police force. So you should have a quote that ties back to this main idea as well. And if the main idea that you wrote did not align with what is written here, what could you change so that it does? And finally, on our scale of 1 to 4, where would you rate your ability to determine the central idea of a text? And why did you rate yourself as that number? Thank you, and completion of this video earns you your unit for Tuesday Newsday this week.